Guys, it's not about how many times you fail in life that matters. The recovery process is the most important part of things. The fact that you keep failing at 18. What's good, winning people? Welcome to another beautiful video. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one today. I feel like it's packed with a lot of information and something that could actually help you guys get better as people. I know it's really challenging, especially when you're in a relationship and you're trying to figure out a way to keep your head straight so that you don't hinder the other person. But the truth about the matter is, for a relationship to be highly functional, communication between both people must be top-notch, meaning you have to be able to open up your heart and be very open to the person, tell them how you feel, but in a loving way, very loving way. Sometimes the issue we have with communication is not the way of communicating or what we say, it's how we actually convey the information to them. So we need to be able to understand this thing. Talking about positive thinking, which is the idea of today's video, positive thinking. When I think about positivity and thinking, first thing that comes to my mind is the way I process information. That's just the definition of thinking actually. The ability to process information, regulate information in your mind. The positivity has to do with the direction you're trying to actually think. People have the choice to either think positive or negative, depending on how a lot of things play. It probably could be the way they feel it probably could be their relationship with the environment, probably the way the situation on ground would actually make you digress or think a specific way. But you need to understand that having a positive mindset is actually one of the best things that could ever happen to you, because it keeps you going, it keeps you on your toe, you get it gets you prepared for what is coming next. So positive thinking has to do with optimistic mind, in the sense that you see only the best in everything. Meanwhile, you're not ignoring the worst in those things. You focus on the strengths, you build yourself on the strength, you appreciate the strength just to keep you going. However, you do not, I repeat, you do not, because this is the mistake people make when they think positively. They just push the negative side of things or the weaknesses under the rug and think, oh, it's fine. No, that is not the right way to do. However, you occupy with the beautiful things. Maybe you're very good at organizing stuff. Maybe your communication skills is good. Maybe the way you relate to people is good. Maybe your eating habits, the way you eat, you love it. You eat healthy. You get it. So consumption of food too. So you focus on those beautiful things, those things that make you feel good. You have to focus on them, and get better at doing them. However, you learn from your mistakes. You don't ignore your mistakes. You try and fix them. So one of the major things about how to become a positive thinker, especially in a relationship, the first thing you have to do is you have to kick off your day thinking positively. And when I mean kicking off your day thinking positively, I'm talking about your overall well-being. You're thinking about the good in situation. You get up in the morning, you look at the mirror, you say, oh my God, I'm beautiful. Today I'm gonna have a great day. Today is gonna be wonderful. Maybe you're going for a job interview, very, very optimistic. I'm going to deliver. Hopefully you prepared, because you have to prepare, but you're very, very confident about the situation. Listen, rejection, I always like to always stress this. Getting rejected or rejection does not highlight your level of confidence. Everybody is different. At the end of the day, when you get rejected, just like failure, people will say, don't embrace failure. No, you have to embrace it, because at the end of the day, you need to learn from it. You go back and do your due diligence and look through to see, where did I come short? What am I doing wrong? What would I have done? What would I have done better? Where can I improve? What was my shortcoming? You ask yourself these questions. Very, very, very humane. Ask yourself this question just so you prepare and get better the next time you're going to go for a new interview. So you have to get up and be very optimistic about that day. It's the first step. Positive thinking is not, I'll repeat, it's not the way out. It's not a way out. The fact you're thinking positive doesn't mean all the issues you have and all the problems you're having is gonna be all gone. No. You have to be able to talk about the situation with your partner. But what positive thinkers get in return is it keeps them in a more safe and healthy mindset, helps them reduce stress, which is one of the biggest, I say it, stress is one of the number one killers to humanity, because we're so overwhelmed by a lot of things that we cannot control. and some things that we think we can control, at the end of the day, we get to understand that then this is way beyond my power, or way beyond my possibility. So that is one thing I want you guys to know. Positive, the fact you're thinking positive doesn't mean that everything else. No, you have to work on those things. You have to talk about those things. You have to be able to be open with those things. You have to be humane and communicate better. You get it with your partner. The second way of how you can think positively as a person and actually enforce that in a relationship where you're pursuing something long term. I'm not looking at something short term, probably just a 1 year, 2 years. Something long term, something you actually have your heart and soul in, and you have a future ahead that the both of you are setting a pace to actually attain together. So you're willing to point to your other person. The other person is willing to. So you're an addition to the person, not a subtraction. You get it? The second step of how you can attain that is actually keep track of, like, it's called a generosity logbook. What do I mean? Sometimes people don't understand the power of writing things out. It's more about like manifestation. When you speak to the atmosphere, you speak, you talk about it, you get so excited about it. Your whole being is exudes so much confidence, so much desire to attain, so much hope. But also scripting things down where you can read it out to yourself. And don't forget, it's a practice here. You're practicing something that in the long term will help you overcome a lot of issues. The goal is to keep you safe, keep you sane, keep you whole, keep your mind at a confined state where you're not being distracted. However, also pay attention to those challenges you're having during the process of actually doing it. So a generation logbook is like, you're writing stuff out, your accomplishment every day. If you go out today and you had a great day with friends, you guys had a lovely time, or you went out and you donated a place. Those are beautiful things you can put them down. So generation, that things you accomplish every day, you put it down. And if you think you don't accomplish nothing in a day, I'm sorry, the ability to sleep and wake up is enough for you to thank and appreciate God for that particular soul. People think, accomplishment has to do with getting something done or setting a standard and like making it happen that day. That's also a great accomplishment. However, the little things, learning a particular skill, communicating better with somebody, addressing a situation, the little things we take for granted sometimes are the most important things that steer us in the right direction. So get a generosity logbook and write those things down, keep track of them, because the power of writing helps us reflect the accomplishment we actually did. Because when you go back to that book or that log, or even on your phone, when you go back and you read those things, you feel good. You feel like, wow, this is what I did this day. Wow, I didn't even believe I could do this. Even if you had doubt in certain situations, you'll be surprised how those accomplishments will push you ahead. So you have to be able to set a generosity logbook just to keep your mind, in sync. And how do this pour into a relationship? Even if your partner is more of a pessimistic mindset, which is very contrasting, don't get me wrong. Certain accomplishments you guys accomplish together daily, you can highlight them to the person, and the person can begin to see light from where you're seeing. It's all about embracing the beautiful, embracing the good, but you never neglect the bad. As I said, you have to talk about it. The third way of how you can think positively as a person, especially in a relationship, is the ability to focus on your strength. Guys, let me elaborate here about this particular point. The one thing we need to understand is we are all human, meaning none of us is perfect. And the honest truth is, getting into any relationship and hoping that, once I get in, everything goes smooth. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. The reality is, the more success you acclaim from a relationship, the more trials, the more tribulation, the more issues you get. That is just the truth about it. The reason is very simple. The enemy or the devil is always out to fight people that want to make a difference, especially when they want to make a positive and change their life in a positive way, live a healthy life, and impact other people around them. So there's always going to be that fight. That is why you have to always, it's good to have differences in a relationship, but there's a difference between having a difference and having a healthy difference. There's some differences that are unhealthy, that actually bring a lot of miscommunication, a lot of envy, a lot of insults, a lot of verbal abuse. To some extent, it gets to physical abuse. No. There gotta be a boundary, there gotta be a line drawn. And you don't wait for it to build up. Once you begin to notice the pattern, you have to call your partner and be like, listen, that's where honesty comes to play. Some of us are not honest in the relationship. So I don't want to hurt him, that's why I don't want to tell him this. Or the guy be like, oh no, I care so much about her, I don't want to tell her this. That causes more harm. It's not about what you're saying to her, it's about how you say it to her. If you tell her that, that's why communication, there are a lot of different ways you communicate. If you speak to her in a loving and kind way, talk to her with love, talk to her with passion, talk to her with affection. Even though what you're saying to her is gonna be drastic, the way you extrude that information to her is gonna tame her anger down or tame her reaction. She's gonna be able to see things better. But if you just go all out and just like, it is what it is, man, she has to take it. At times, it's not what we say to people, or why we're saying what we're saying to people. It's the how. The how is a big deal. So your strength should be something that you celebrate. Your strength should be something you develop every day. Your strength should be something you actually point into the most. As I said, focus on your strength, but work on your weakness. That is the third key. If you're somebody that loves to organize the house, and when you organize the house, it looks flawless. You get better, you do all that kind of, you experiment, you learn how to organize more. The goal is pouring more joy into your heart, getting yourself set for something better. If you're somebody that loves, as I said, you love to eat, you experiment with different kind of food, or you're a fruit person, you love fruits, a different kind of fruit, or you love fruit juice, and the way you do it, when you make it, your man love it, or you like it, and your friend like, oh my God, damn, this is really good. You improve those strengths. If you're someone that loves to read novels, you focus on those strengths you have. If you are good at communicating, you focus on that. If you are a giver, which I actually implore people to learn, because some people, they don't understand the power of giving. They only know how to receive. They want to take, they want to get, they want to collect, but they don't understand the power of giving. And when I say give, I'm not giving without an expectation. You're not giving somebody because you're expecting a return from them. You're giving them because you love to do that particular job, which is giving. You want to help somebody without expecting them to help you or expecting something in return. So focus on your strengths. It's gonna really help you, keep you in that right frame of mind. It keeps you going for that day. The fourth point that actually will help you to think positive every day is to embrace your failure and learn from it. Guys, it's not about how many times you fail in life that matters. The recovery process is the most important part of things. The fact that you keep failing at a thing and you don't let go, you keep trying. I promise you, at some point, you're gonna break through. And when you break through, then you understand the importance of never giving up or never letting go. Failure is a challenge that should propel us to do more, do better, get better at something. It's more like it's a buffer to that situation. However, you have to be able to push through it. Everybody, any success story you've heard that have not been honest with you and talk about their failure, they're either saying it, they were born into like a golden spoon, probably they came from a wealthy family. Even the people that are wealthy, they have their own struggles in life. Nothing in life is easy. That's what people will say, oh, it's so easy, it's easy to do this. The reality is it's not easy. You have to put in some effort. But when you fail, it shouldn't be the end of the road. You should want to actually try again. Maybe you try in a different way. Maybe you change the way you're doing things. You try to change a different way. You're like a student. You have an exam and the teacher said, okay, read chapter 1, 2, 3. This was going to be on the exam. And you don't read it at all. Or you read chapter 1, hoping that, maybe he's not going to bring chapter 2 and 3. And then you go on the exam and you fail. I'll be honest with you. In that kind of mindset, the percentage of passing that exam is not even 50-50, probably 25-75. That's the honest truth. Because you haven't covered the syllabus. You have to prepare. At times you cover the syllabus, right? You cover the syllabus, but you don't understand the material. That's another thing. Sometimes it's not just about reading something. It's about understanding. How do you accumulate the information you've actually studied? That is some challenges people face too. So failure can come in different ways. But the fact you're failing doesn't mean that's the end of the road. The failure should be something you embrace because it's going to ignite you to get better. You need to keep working. You learn from the mistake you made during the failure. You get better, and then you try again. People don't understand the power of trying. It's better you try for a long time than you give up for a short period of time. Because you fail to understand that when you try, you learn it. You understanding the process even better. You're learning something, you're tweaking something, you're doing something different. And then when the breakthrough comes, you're like, oh my God, it sticks. It's a practice. The more you practice something, you get better at it. So if you keep failing and failing, you keep trying, you get better at your craft, you keep getting better, you keep doing something different. Over time, once you actually get through that stuff, it clicks. It'll be very difficult for you to go down that route again because you've done different ways, learned different methods. It's just like learning a skill. You start a new skill, you don't know how to even go about it. You try it out, you're not doing well, but you keep trying it, you keep fine-tuning your skills, but then you get it, and then you practice more when you get it, and then you begin to master it, and then you begin to develop your skills, and that's how it is about life. So you have to be ready to embrace your failure, and you cannot ignore it. No, don't do that. So especially in the relationship when we're with somebody, and probably the person, maybe you guys, your communication skills is not good enough, you don't give up so easily, especially if you guys have the right purpose why the relationship is actually done. Because one of the major mistakes people make in getting into relationship is there's no purpose for it. You get into relationship because my friends are in a relationship, I feel like I'm single. Whenever we go out, I'm the one excluded. No, it's not about them, it's about you. What do you want out of this relationship? What is your goal? What is your objective? What is the long-term goal? Is your goal achievable? Is it a realistic goal? Can you measure it over a period of time? So your failure in the relationship you should try and make it work. Talk to your partner. That's why it's good to be an active listener. For the men, that's where you step up as a man in the relationship. You try and talk to your woman. Baby, what is the issue? What is the problem? Could you talk to me? And if she's not in the mood, you give her, you space out. Some people don't understand how to go. Like, if somebody's not willing, because probably she might be so stressed out that she's not in the proper mindset at that moment to communicate with you. You give her space. Baby, I just want you to know that when you're ready to talk, I'll be right in the room. I love you. You've done an affirmation test right here. When she calms down, she's willing to talk, she's gonna come. People don't understand how to communicate in the relationship, and that is why a lot of people just, it is what it is. And some people, a way out is just it's safe for them. I gotta go. I can't do this, man. I can't do this. I gotta go. Have you tried a different way? So you have to be able to embrace your failure and learn from it. When you do that, that's how you challenge yourself to get better in that relationship. You challenge yourself to go farther in the relationship. You guys attain success over time. So given the number of points I've actually stressed out, guys, we actually have 4 standing reasons why positive thinking is essential to any relationship. And I touch on the first point, which is be very, very accommodating of your day, every day. Be excited about the day. Manifest what you want for that day by saying it out. The second point, which actually follows that, is actually creating the generosity logbook. Write it down, the power of writing, scripting things out. The third point, which is embracing your strength. But not just about embracing your strength though. You don't even know your weaknesses. You have to work on your weaknesses. Try and strengthen yourself. Try and improve on those things. And at this point, you have to be very, very sincere with yourself. Your strengths, you focus on your strength, those stuff that actually get you going every day. However, you have to give time for your weaknesses also. And the fourth point that I touched on, which is understanding that failure is not the end of the road. You have to learn from it. Nobody is perfect in life. Mistake is not something that we can always escape. However, it's how we recover from those mistakes. The learning part is what makes us better. Never giving up in life. I just want to touch one more important antidote that will actually make you stand out even more every day. It's the power of prayer. Prayer, which is my 5th point. Just pray. Because what people don't understand is there are a lot of things that happen in the physical already manifested in the spiritual. So if you're not able to communicate with your spiritual being, you pray to God. Give yourself that time of the day to pray to God and appreciate God for giving you an opportunity to see that day. Prayer. And you prophesy into your life. And you speak to the atmosphere. You speak what you want for that day. That is a very strong part, and if it's not something that you do, I will definitely ask that you try and generate that mindset to cultivate this act and put it into consideration every day of your life, and I promise you, you will see the difference every day. Now, before I wrap up, I just want to have a question of the day. The question of the day for you guys. I would love to see your input on the comment. Please tell me how you cope. How do you cope on a daily? How do you empower yourself as a positive thinker? What other things do you do that keeps your mind in a very positive direction? I want to hear your feedback in the comment. Once again, guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you. Remember, keep winning, guys. Keep winning. Thank you. Love you all.